Final one of the season here, Coach. First, let's just get your assessment of tonight's game.
Well, this is as tough as it gets to finish a year. I think we get yesterday we get Pittsburgh at home, and the game means everything. And as you know, we got a lot of young guys and some big names missing, and it could have been easy yesterday or today to come up with a poor effort or lack of commitment. It was the opposite. I think today our players fought hard. I mean, you look at the first period, in the game where it means everything to Boston. Our young guys gave everything they got, and it's a back-to-back too, so you could see that as the game went on, we're making some mental mistakes and stuff, but I think the effort was there from the beginning to the end. You look again, another young guy made his mark tonight at home. White got 2 assists and did very well. And too bad Shabbat that goal didn't score. That would have been his 10th, and I think that would have tied the franchise record. But he had the shot to get that 10th goal. So yeah, a lot of good things from our young guys, but at the same time, let's not kid ourselves. That was a lot for them to manage back there. And you got England, and you got Wolanin, and you got Shabbat, and so you end up with guys that are normally slotted in the 5th, 6th spot. Whether it's Burrow or Clayson, having to sleep on the ice, and they did everything they could. So real proud of them, trying to be anchors for those other young guys. So yeah, we had a terrific push from our guys and gave everything we got.
From what you experienced last year to this, does it just go to show how fine a line it is to?
Yeah, and that's the NHL. We all know that. Everybody knows that. You're always 2 players away from going up, and you're always 2 players away from going down, or injuries, circumstances, all kinds of things. And so that's the NHL. If you look at teams last year that were at the bottom, all of a sudden this year, some of them are in the playoffs, and it's the opposite. Some of the teams that are at the top last year were at the bottom this year, and that's what the NHL is, and that's what we mean by parity. Is it's a league where everything's got to go right, and whenever it goes well, you got to value those moments because they mean a lot. It's tough to be consistent. It's tough to be good in the NHL, and so that's what we're looking at for the future. Is try to bring in more youth, more speed, more drive, and then inject some of what we saw in this last portion of the year into our lineup to keep growing and get back at getting a shot.
I know you've wanted to push right until the very end here. Are you finally able to kind of exhale yourself?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think we lost, whether as a staff or as players. We didn't change our approach. Every practice we try to have the best practice possible. Every game we pushed, and whenever we didn't like either attitude, work ethic, or discipline, we took care of it the next day at practice, video, individual meetings, and we didn't stop that until the last second here. So I don't think players or staff or anybody saw anybody quitting and changing their ways just because half the league doesn't make the playoffs. So that's a lot of teams, and I think our jobs as professionals is to give everything we got. And sometimes your efforts are not going to be rewarded now; they're going to be rewarded later because it's part of the growth that you have and circumstances that you have at certain moments. But definitely everything matters and everything counts as you're trying to grow. So I think that's the way we took it, and until now and in the next days, that's what we'll be doing. We'll evaluate and see what we want to do differently and where we got to go. And the next months are going to be part of that evaluation process and moving forward. And in the end, when you don't make playoffs in this business, you always feel that you failed. But the one thing we want to do is fail forward. Meaning that you fail to learn and grow and go forward, and that's our focus.